Hey guys, just a reminder before we start the videos to like and subscribe so we can keep providing these great videos for you.
Okay, Mr. Christmas Enduro Winner and Scaleauto Festival Winner. Finally, I have you here.
You have me. I've been captured.
Yeah, it's always like oh, let's do it, and then oh no, I need to go tomorrow morning, and then you're done.
I mean, I've avoided it for this long, so
okay, that's good. That's good.
And your hair is looking fabulous today.
It's fabulous. I brought a hat because I knew that you're gonna say something about it.
Yeah.
But I didn't have it here.
It's
so
the mad genius.
A joke.
It's the mad genius of you.
It's around. It's here. Like I literally never in my life I never took care of my hair. Anyhow, I never did anything.
I have a feeling you're going to be one of those people who you're like 100 years old and it's going to look identical.
Yeah,
to that.
probably. I hope. My father died young, but he had a lot of hair. My brother, it's a problem.
Oh. Yeah, well, you didn't get that gene.
No. Yeah, but my grandfather was completely bald. But yeah, it's something that doesn't bother me. Like even when I was growing up, I never have to do any products or anything like that. I just like wake up and whatever it looks like, that's it.
Is that analogous to your slot car career?
Kind of.
Like whatever happens, happens. You know?
No. I think I took more care and pride of my slot car career than my hair.
All right.
So, yeah. So tell me, one crazy thing about you and our friendship is that seems like I know you for 20 years.
We're friends?
Yes.
Okay, I'm happy with that.
No, we've just finished my statement. So seems like I know you for 20 years, but I really know you for like a year and a half or so. So I want to know more about your background. So when did you start doing slot car racing? Is that your very first hobby? Do you did some RC before that?
Yeah, so I totally agree. I think this is the fourth time. No. Yeah, fourth time I've been here. Yeah, it feels like every time I come down here, I feel like this is like my family. It's kind of crazy. You guys do such an incredible job.
I don't have any money.
That's fine.
Okay.
You can product.
Let's
you can pay me product.
No, it's not, everything that you see here is not mine.
I understand.
Okay.
But you control it.
No.
No, so I really appreciate everything you guys do, and it's like anytime I come down here, I just feel like it's like open arms. So I'm just putting back what you guys are providing me. But yeah, I started with RC cars way back in the day when I was like 10. Back in the 90s we had like on Saturdays with the cartoons and stuff, you had the commercials for Tyco. Like they had the 440 Tyco gravity racers and everything like that. So I did like HO slot cars for a little bit as a kid. And then I did RC cars for a while. And then what ended up happening was there was a hobby shop in this shopping center, like 5 minutes away from our house. And I was going there one day, and my mom, who's a therapist, take what you will from that. Okay. She's like, one of my clients actually goes to the slot car track next door. I was like, I don't care. I'm interested in RC cars. And so she kind of dragged me over there, and it was literally like 3 doors down. And I was hooked from then on. I rented a car.
Let's change for slot cars and save a tenth.
Seriously,
10 times the money.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, like I think she rented me a car that day, and it was Hot Slots Raceway in Pleasant Hill, owned by Spencer Allen. Really loved those guys. And from that point on, I was pretty hooked. And yeah, I mean, what else do you want to know? Do you want my life story?
No, yeah, but after that, okay, there's a track on the mall, and then you got a car, you probably got another one, and got into competition. But after that, because that track on the mall probably didn't last forever.
No, unfortunately, it did not.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's a bad idea to have that kind of a footprint in a mall.
Yes.
So the most expensive active slot car tracks in the 90s, but okay.
Yes. Yeah, it was really expensive.
In Brazil, what they did, it was sometimes they put walls on the garage, on the parking lot, and they just have a track over there.
Wow.
Yeah, but you can hear the cars passing by, or sometimes kind of shaky. Yeah, but when you need to have a track on the shopping mall, that's what they did. It's kind of a good idea.
No, I mean, it was great because he got so much walk-in traffic. There were always birthday parties. There was always rentals, and he had 3 tracks.
And they have like championships and races, like
Yeah.
serious races.
Yeah, they had serious races.
Is there anybody from that era that we still know, that we know from now?
Yeah, you might know him. His name's Herman James.
He was there?
Yeah.
But Herman's older than us.
Dude, that's why I met Herman. It was in
Jesus,
1993 at Hot Slots in Pleasant Hill.
Okay, so Herman was like 34.
He was young. I have some really good pictures of Herman when he was young.
Okay.
It's pretty good. But yeah, that's when I met Herman. You don't know him, but Mike O'Donnell, who I've raced with, he signed up for last year's Nats.
Okay.
I'm trying to get him down here.
So he was the one that he was one of the ones that didn't came.
Yes, he was. Okay. Yes, you were, Michael. Yeah. So a lot of those guys, they've kind of transitioned to 132 because 132 is it has that same sort of feel, but a lot of the guys who kind of went off to do really good things in 124, we all kind of started about that time in Northern California.
So what kind of cars you guys were racing there? Like Flexi Parmas?
Yeah. So Hot Slots had kind of like weird, they had like the weird sort of Thursday night races.
Okay.
So we were racing Parma.
Shopping mall was closed. Everybody was running around.
Seriously. 132nd scale Parma chassis. They were brass. They were like a stamped brass.
Okay.
And then we ran 16Ds in them and Mini Cooper bodies.
The 16Ds, the green end bell or the white end bell?
I can't even remember. I think white. But that could be factually incorrect.
That was kind of the time that I started doing it. I remember that we used to race the white end bell Parma.
Yeah.
And then the pink end bell came up and it was new. It was a little
the
bit
pink one?
Yeah, it was a little faster, but everybody started to call it the Parma gay because it was pink. And nobody, okay, I guess I need to race that. So everybody was
fast,
kind of like
it's
that.
fast.
It was fast, it's fast. So yeah, I remember that. And
Yeah.
I kept my white one a couple months because I didn't have money to buy one.
Sure.
For us, it was so expensive to get that stuff.
Yeah.
Like to get a new motor was like a year upgrade for a car.
Wow.
Like that's the upgrade that I'm doing
Yeah.
this year. I'm getting a new motor. It's RC cars was just impossible.
Dude, I still RC cars is impossible.
Yeah.
Like I saw so I'm selling some RC car stuff for one of my friends, and it's just made me sort of like,
relearn.
yeah, sort of like, oh my God, I love this stuff.
Yeah.
And looking at all the parts that are required that you upgrade every year.
Yeah.
It's like, $1,200, $1,300 a car. It's crazy.
It's a lot of money.
That's really one of the reasons
it's
why I
super
did.
popular.
Yeah.
Right now it's I think it's like 10 times or even 20 times the size of the slot car market.
Yeah. Why do you think that is?
Well, I see there's many more companies doing it. There's giants like Kyosho and Tamiya doing it. I've been to the toy fair last February, and it's literally 20 times more than slot cars.
Yeah.
The mini Z cars.
Oh yeah, those are big too.
And they keep learning and keep doing new classes, just like drifts and mats and yoga mats. It's as a track, and they keep really learning. Like right now, Buena Park Raceway, the guy wants to sell. Robert, the owner, wants to sell the King track to put a mini Z track.
I heard about that. Yeah.
So that King track has been there for like 20 years or so.
Probably longer.
It's one of the most historical Blue Kings that we have, and nobody's going to take care of it. And he's just going to maybe trash it to put a mini Z because now it's the new fever. I go to the Pacific Hobby here on Lomita.
Yeah.
And they open Saturdays and Sundays, and there is lines to get inside.
Wow.
With people trying to get new parts, with holding like big 1/8 RC trucks to fix it.
Yeah.
I think it's just easier because you don't need to compete. You can just have it in front of your house.
Yes, I was just about to say it's really accessible.
Yeah.
And that's actually what I think is so cool about 132 racing is that like it's sort of the first major production slot car thing that you could have at your house.
Yes.
You could have at a commercial raceway like this. And that's kind of why I think, I was talking to Herman about this a lot. On our drives down, we'll talk about the future of slot cars and stuff. And we would talk about like, I think this is kind of the new thing because it's it blends all the different pieces,
The way I see is that we went to a different route compared to the rest of the world, because in Spain and in England they always had the sets to sell the plastic.
The plastic
We have the
cars.
Revels and stuff right here, but at the same time you have the raceways here. You have like almost 3,500 raceways around.
Yeah.
So we went to the scratch building metal chassis 124 Lexan body kind of route.
Yeah.
And the Spanish and the English, they're still doing the 132nd replicas, factory made, race at home, even because they have winters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like we have here on the East Coast, but over there, like it's
to
more
say.
like a home activity than the going out.
Mm-hmm.
Like in London right now, we have 1 or 2 active clubs. There is one that's on top of a church that the guys literally put the track together every Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
that's,
see a lot
and
of
that's
that
the
over
space
there.
that you have. And can you imagine with the amount of equipment that you guys roll in here?
I don't know what you're talking about.
To get like in tubes and trains and to get around. So they started doing at home, like we're doing right now, 1/32 scale. But
Yeah.
the reason that we're doing it here now is just because rent is so expensive. I don't know if you have another facility like yours with the 1/32 wooden track made for 1/32 in America. We might have 1 or 2 or maybe a little bit more slot car raceways with plastic tracks.
Yeah.
But that's because of rent. And then things are changing because with the amount of sales that we're doing, pushing and bringing stuff from Europe, maybe the 1/32 is getting a little bit bigger than 1/24, and we're finally doing this change.
Yeah.
Because, as you say, you can have a track at home and you can come here and race.
Yeah. And
But it's historical. It's we went to a different route. That's why it never got popular here.
yeah, I think that's totally valid.
And there's another thing.
Okay.
It became
Tell me.
acceptable when around 2004 or so, NSR and Slotted, they start to fight against each other, and then those two guys start to develop bigger and nicer things.
Sure.
So when we finally get an NSR car or a Slotted car with a 2-piece chassis that you can tune with like a proper gearing, proper axles and wheels, then became acceptable to the American public, because that's a little bit more comparable with those Parma things that we used to race.
Yeah.
Much better in my opinion, but it's the same tuning.
Sure.
It's not those Ninkos or the Scaleautos from the 90s that just look out. Those are toys.
Yeah.
So I think that's a little part of the change too, and we own a lot to Mauricio and Andrea.
Yeah, well, Maurizio and Andrea are both incredible people. So I'm glad that they're doing what they are. But
And Salvatore, of course.
of course, I totally agree. Though I think, the cool thing about 132 is that it kind of combines. It's like actually model motoring. It's actually like kind of more what slot cars used to be, where it's like hard body. They're more scale representation of the cars themselves, whereas the 124 cars have become, they're the thingies, right?
Yeah.
They don't look even so. When I was racing in the 90s, we raced a lot of Group C bodies, and that was kind of like the cool faster cars.
But it's still Lexan bodies that remembers a Group C car, not like a replica car.
Yeah, exactly. There's still like really small cockpit,
Yeah. Just like the JKs that they sell today. Yeah.
Exactly. But these cars are like literally
A replica of something that we race, yeah.
Yeah, and so you got the chassis tuning dynamics, you got the body, the model scale modeling, and then if you kind of figure them out a bit, they handle just like 124s. I mean, not just, but
No, it is like for a flat track. Like
sure,
we have here.
like a 1/32 scale.
Yesterday I was running your car that you're preparing for the national. And I was having a blast because it's just like you can punch it. You can just go for it. If you have it figured out, you can literally have the same feeling as racing a retro on a flat track or something like that.
Totally.
Yeah, it's a little bit slower, but in comparison of a scale, I think it's a little faster.
Yes, but it's cool. Herman talks about this all the time. He says, when people walk in and see these cars, they can identify them because they're not driving around. I mean, if you see the new wing car racing where it's like 1.5 second lap time, it's not.
Yeah.
You can't identify that. I mean, how you can't even watch that from the driver's panel.
Yeah.
So the cool thing about these is that you walk in, you see, oh, that's a Viper. Oh, that's a GT40. Oh, that's
And there's a little bit more emotion when you overtake.
Yes.
That's why we designed this track with that lane spacing, so they can touch it. So you have to negotiate an overtake.
Yes.
And when you guys racing, I know that you guys race on 124 scale tracks in North California.
Yeah.
The lane spacing for me is kind of a problem because you can just pass them.
Yes.
There's no way to touch it. Or if you touch it, it's going to be like... So
You're both flying.
Yeah, you can get in a corner and it's fine.
No, I love that about here is that it's, I was watching the race. What was it? It was what was the last race you guys had? The Can-Am race?
Yeah.
And I was watching Herman try to negotiate around Rick on the outside, and I was like, I don't think so, Herman.
Yeah.
And then they both going off.
They both go off.
It's like it's great, there should be a little bit of something there.
Because that's the driving when you need to go a little bit deeper to go to pass on your favor, or you need to brake a little bit when you outside. I had a lot of those at the WRE race, especially at night.
I'm sure
I had the time of my slot car year racing at night over there because I don't know how I was a little faster than everybody and was just overtaking the whole field. I won the heat.
You're not bad.
No, I know.
Because I think you're national champion, aren't you?
For other classes, not that.
I mean, still.
But it's still like was so nice to see the car just the lights just breaking a little bit deeper and trying to go. And that's the whole thing about slot car.
Yeah.
Like I know that you have to prepare, have to go to those races, have to deal with people. But when you're there, concentrating on that thing, and you're a little faster than everybody else, is so good. The sensation is just like, oh yeah, get out of my way, I'm passing. you have like this power inside of you that you're just going around and just get out, I'm faster. You feel like the whole building is looking at you, but nobody's caring. But
that's not what I'm thinking when I'm driving. But I mean,
I have the confidence when I go there.
No, I talked to Jeff Sensky, who I'm here with today, and he and I had a great conversation about how when you're driving a slot car, it's one of the few sort of, not few, but like it's such a different thing than what people think when they look at it. Because when you're driving around the track, you get this sense of rhythm, and it's almost kind of like a Zen feeling where you're sort of not really aware of your thoughts. You're kind of just there, present. Yeah. And it's really nice feeling.
I have an experience to share with you. I restarted doing slot cars when I moved here, and I was looking for an activity just to
get you off the couch. I know, I get it.
Not only that, but just to train my English. That's the whole thing.
Okay.
And I remember going to the Veterans Center in Culver City.
Okay.
And the guy, I can leave your name there, but there's a long list. So I just want to help, and then wash the dishes. No, it's a lot of people want to do that. So I went there 3 times, and they never got a place for me to kind of work and go there for like twice a week or something.
Yeah.
And then I say, okay, let's go slot cars. And that's how I knew about Buena Park, but Buena Park was far away. And I know that to race at Buena Park, you need a lot of
stuff.
Yeah, not only that, but you need to have time. You need to go there a couple of days earlier just for a simple race.
Yeah.
So I saw Big Loose. That was like 5 blocks away from my house. And I went there, saw the plastic cars. I said, I don't want to deal with those. I don't know nothing about those. It looks like a toy to me. And then one day, those guys were super cool with me. So, come over, we have loaners race with us. Yeah. So I raced there. I remember I still have a picture. It was like a magnet race with a Scaleauto NASCAR. And it was pretty good for me. And for the first time, after like 10 years without doing any slot cars, I felt that I was focused on one thing for 3 minutes straight.
Yeah.
And that was kind of magical. I was like, okay, what happened here? Like I didn't have a second thought about anything. I forgot about all my problems, and I was there for 3 minutes on that heat. And I said, okay, that's something that makes good for me.
Yeah.
So I bought a car for the next race, which was a DTM Carrera car.
Okay.
I came here actually to buy it. And the next race, I called my mom, said, can you put all my tools in a box and just ship it to me? So I have like a little drawer for like 3 months with my tools.
The shipping of all that stuff is probably the same cost as the tools themselves here.
But my tools, and I still have them.
Yeah.
My tools when I was a teenager. So I came with a little drawer on my desk full of tools and 2 cars. Mm-hmm. And then I called the guy called Japinha in Brazil to make a box for me.
Yes.
So he shipped.
You have 2 of here.
Yeah. We sell here. So I had that box, and then now I started it. So then I met Eddie. Eddie took me to Far Out. I raced with Far Out, and then I started to race at Buena Park. So yeah, it's kind of a similar thing that you guys are talking. It's just like 3 minutes of me here.
Yeah.
It's and when you get to the rhythm and you plus the other emotions, like when I race Formula 1 or Far Out, I have the little Senna car.
I know.
And it's pretty cool to see that car kind of going round like sideways and overtaking, and you kind of feel like a little bit of your teenage years when you used to watch those races.
Yeah, they look beautiful on the track. That's kind of undeniable.
Yeah.
You know, where a field of those cars like the NSR F1s or even the Group C cars, they like you see them on the track and they look so cool.
Yeah. And the whole thing, the whole experience. But coming back a little bit about the difference between European and American market. If you go to Mexico never adopted the American market slot car thing. They use the Spanish ones. So they have a lot of collections, they have a lot of home tracks, and they have a lot of plastic-based clubs. So I think Americans went to the different direction.
Yeah.
At some point.
Faster, bigger, wood tracks, and it's space. Yeah. It got pretty crazy. I mean, that's when I was racing in the 90s. You know, the cars were still pretty heavy. They were, we were running like 900 wide tires on the Eurosport cars, and so we had like way too much motor, no downforce, ton of rubber. So it was still a handful. And now I'm not saying that they're not a handful now, but like the speed at which they're going now is insane.
Corners,
Like they're running 5-tooth pinions now. It's insane. So it's just a different ball game.
Yeah. But if you want to get involved with that thing, you need a lot of time and a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know how to start like a USRA or ERRA thing.
Yeah.
Just those motors. Like I remember my time was Group 12, the whole thing. So you have like this Mura or RJR,
hemi-wound stuff,
or the Pro Slot or Coford, and you used to put the magnets closer and have those Pro Slot intruder or whatever they call
contender,
whatever they call.
Or no, it was an intruder 12 arm, I think.
Yeah, probably.
I don't remember.
And you have this beautiful Mercedes Group C body, kind of reminds you of Group C, and you go for it. But you have banked curves. You used to race at Blue Kings or similar tracks. Right now they're much faster with smaller motors on flat tracks.
Yeah, they like what they're doing now are like wing car speeds
without the wings
back in the day.
Yeah,
right. It's pretty nuts. So from like an engineering perspective, they're more advanced now than they've ever been.
Yeah.
And now there's a lot of discussion about the brushless motors and how they're going to impact 124 scale.
Do you think we're ever going to race brushless motor 1/32 scale?
Do I?
Yeah.
I hope not.
You hope not?
I mean, I don't know. I love how analog and old school these are. They're really simple and I don't know.
I've been talking to companies to start to develop 1/32 scale brushless motors.
Okay, well then I hope that we race them.
Thank you. Let's put that part. Now the thing is, people are not believing. Right now there is nobody developing, and I think that the very first company who does that is going to be one of the biggest innovations that we have.
That's probably true.
And there is no race for it. Nobody's we're good now. I know that we're good now, but as soon as somebody does that, you're not good anymore.
Yeah. Well, I know that it's going to have some impacts on the entire industry in that, like the whole supply chain of where the motors are coming from, who's manufacturing the motors.
Maybe they are afraid together. Nobody's doing but someone is going to do it.
Yeah, I know that there's the complexity of them, in that they have to have like a speed control involved. Yeah. It's kind of becoming a little bit like a mini RC car. Mm-hmm. It's
called the ESC, right?
Yeah, electronic speed called ESC. Yeah.
There's a couple guys doing it already, 4-slot cars, but focusing on the 124 scale thing.
Yeah.
And the motor you can find on China. The motor is ready. You don't need to do anything about it. You just need to develop the ESC stuff. Chip.
I know I think they're using drone motors for that. But yeah, it's pretty nuts. I know that a guy I used to race with who's really renowned in 124, Paul Goronsky. You probably know of Paul. he is racing in Arizona, and he started a small sort of brushless racing association. So I know that it's growing. I just don't know how it's going to translate into like home sets. That'll be kind of the interesting thing because it does provide a little bit more of a technical sort of challenge
maybe it's never going to be available for home sets, but for competition 132nd now that's growing, maybe some couple of years we're going to have it.
Maybe. And I could see a world where you potentially have a digital chip like the Carrera, the slotted oxygen that is also an ESC. Yeah.
Well, there's if you see the chips that we use for digital racing, like the slotted made by Mauricio Gilbertoni, the partner of Mauricio Ferrari.
Okay.
That guy's a great engineer. Like if you see that how small the chip is and how easy to install and how effective it is. So that's the guy who will be hoping to develop one of the ASC for 132nd scale.
Yeah.
But for now, as far as I know, Slotted's not doing nothing. And I feel like the first guy who does that is going to be like a big jump on the market.
Yeah. The thing that's kind of a little, not sketchy, but the thing that is a little unknown, I guess, is that in terms of the speed controls, with like RC cars, it's fully programmable. So things that like throttle curve, torque, all that kind of stuff, in theory, you could dial in all of that stuff, and you could imagine a world where people are here on their iPads or their phones even controlling the throttle curve of their cars, I don't think that's that far out of reality,
That's pretty cool, actually. Like in a high-level competition.
Yeah.
People tuning with laptops, just like they started on Formula 1 in the 80s.
Exactly.
Those big beige ones on the side pod. The guys just like, what we're doing? I have to restart this thing.
But we all need to be on massive IBM ThinkPads. Black
with a red dot on it. Yeah, very professional.
Yeah, like every time they start up the old Senna cars and they bring out the 30-year-old laptop, it's pretty good.
Yeah. They still do it, right? They still have that.
Yeah.
It's harder to keep the laptop working than the car.
Yes, sure. Yes.
It's more expensive to keep the laptop working.
It is. Well, maybe not more expensive.
Well, yeah, maybe.
But
yeah, I think it's a change that is coming, and we developed in the 132nd world. We're so well developed, like chassis and bodies and tires and everything is so perfect. If you grab, for example, things that Slotting Plus does, so precise.
Yeah. Some of the best. Yeah.
You cannot compare to anything. You cannot make it less comparable to anything that we race at 124 scale. So maybe the next step is the rounded little brushless motor. I
mean, whatever you do, I'll be here to race it. I don't care what it is.
Come on.
No, seriously. Like it's like the clip that you have. Yeah, on Instagram. It's like there's no one else doing anything like this. Like nobody's putting on this level of races. Like even when I raced 124 scale, we'd be, races would go to like 3 a.m. You know what I mean? There's no scheduling. Like you come down here and it's like the floor is clean, the shop is incredible, your hair is just fantastic.
Carlos is looking good.
Carlos is looking good. He's got his good sweats on. And then
did you see that it took the tension out? Okay.
Yes. There was so much tension. But it's like I just don't care. Any class that you want to run, I'll be here.
Well, to be fair, it's a good group of people working here. We finally have a very good group of people working. We organize it. Me and Christian, we came here like 3 years ago, and the start was kind of a mess. We have a guy who doesn't care very much to take care of the business. And we're doing change little by little. Like right now, you're here for 2 days to practice, and you know the big change that we're doing. We just installed new racks in the back. We're moving stuff. We're going to have space for a new plastic track.
Yep. And you're going to do beautiful landscaping on it, like we agreed, right?
Yes. Yeah, later on, yes. But I already have the lap master. I bought the computer. I bought even the fatigue mat. Is that called? Fatigue?
I don't know.
What's the name of that thing that we're standing on when you're racing? It's fatigue?
Oh, fatigue, sure.
Fatigue mat.
Yeah, like the rubber anti-fatigue mat,
yeah.
Sure.
And
is it 4 lanes or 6 or 8? or
Well,
12?
To be honest, I got new display cases because we
Okay.
need more space for display. So they arrive on Wednesday, and then we're gonna put in place
And see.
and see what is the footprint that we have.
I gotcha.
But it's gonna be kind of angle track, and we're moving the counter. It's a lot of work. You see, yesterday.
It's a lot of
I
work.
was doing the forklift. I feel dizzy. I was doing the whole day forklifting stuff, and
It's not an electric forklift.
no, it's not. It's
No.
gas. So maybe
Yeah.
that's why I was dizzy.
Now, are you gonna use that before the Nats or?
No, it's good.
Okay, if I need to test and tune specific tires
for plastic
that work
track,
well.
yeah. It's gonna. My plan is to have it up by the Nats.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know about landscape and stuff for now, but we're gonna have like
I understand.
like we're gonna see the operational track.
Sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be a place with 2 tracks now, and
awesome.
Am I gonna do enduros starting in wood and finishing in plastic?
That's insane.
That's pretty cool, right?
That's
It's gonna
insane.
be the first time doing this.
With no tire gluing. No, I'm
sorry,
just kidding.
No, you can change the tires maybe during the green line and you repeat. Maurice is pushing. It's gonna be a polycar track. Maurice is pushing us to do oxygen because you can race oxygen and analog at the same time, or
Can you? Okay.
yeah, because it depends on the chip on the car. So you can race analog.
So we could have like a car out there that's programmed to just be slow and do laps, and it'll be like the ghost version of you. So it'd be like we're dodging you throughout the entire race. No?
I don't know. But he's coming up with the lane changes for polycar, so he wants to do that.
Cool.
And I think this is going to be like the flagship track for polycar. Plus, one thing that is very important to us, 95% of our customers plastic track. So
Yeah.
we're going to have a plastic track to do some feedback on that and do
Yeah.
testing. And when people call, whoa, what's the best tire for this car? This is the one.
Yeah. I think it's great.
I was thinking about yesterday. I still don't know about silicone tires. I think I'm going to be racing rubber.
I'd prefer that.
Well,
I love the rubber tires.
you
They're so like it's a love-hate relationship, you know.
You can work a little bit more. We can develop a little bit more. And the silicone tires, the thing is, I hate to say that, but I think it's great for home tracks. But it's just like you just pop in. There's nothing you can do. That's it. You choose a tire that fits your wheel, and you can through them barely. Cut the corners. Oh, great difference. And that's it. And the rubber, you still have a little bit more competition. Like you have to choose the correct compound.
Yeah. It's challenging. It's really
yeah.
challenging. And there's like a lot of, I mean, I don't think anyone has really figured it out. Like the crazy thing about these 132 cars is that like we're pushing the limits of what they're designed to do, but we still have only figured out like half of what their potential is.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's crazy.
Yeah. And each new race, you guys come with something new, and I'm just following. I'm not developing cars because I'm not racing. And I see you guys bringing new stuff. I know that you guys testing new ways to through the tires and.
No, you don't know what you're talking about.
No, I know. You guys think I don't know, but I know everything. But yeah, and keep having emails from Todd asking, okay, you told me last year that you should put the bearings. No, you can't. Oh, can you double check that? I said, no, I can't.
Todd, shout out. Todd, shout out.
Jesus, I'm replying your email, Todd. Don't put bearings on the Group 5 car. Thank you. But yeah, it's challenging to me to keep you guys from innovation because sometimes you do things that there's only a few people that can do.
Sure.
And I need to
don't know what you're talking about.
And I need to be open to welcome everybody. And at the same time that somebody new comes in, oh, can I race this car? Yeah, you just need new tires, new axle, new gear, and you need to stand like 45 minutes on each tire. Change the guide in a position that is supposed to be this way and that way, and the guy just like, oh, and then give up. And I need to bring new people. So it's it's very hard for me to write the rules and and at the same time that I want you guys to go faster and innovate and create new things, I need to cut you guys down. So
no, it's
more
part of
welcoming
racing.
for people. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to Jeff about this last night.
Jeff is getting fast, by the way.
Yeah. He's out there right now cutting laps.
Cutting laps.
5.7s.
5.7s
on red.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. The group no, right? I was doing 6.1s on blue, so if he's doing 5.7s on red, I need to go to the track right now.
Exactly.
Not gonna work for the day.
what was I saying?
We're talking with Jeff yesterday.
Yes, I lost my train of thought. We were talking about the rules, and we were talking about how racing is something where, you kind of constantly have to evolve the rules to slow people down, but then the racers are going to find a way beyond it. And I was talking to Todd about this, and early on, I was like, Todd, I think 5.9 is going to be our goal this year. And he's like, there's no way. We can't run the Jaguar, we can't run the F1 wheels.
5.9.
Exactly. And I was like, it doesn't matter. Like each year, you take what you learn.
What was the pole last year? 6.1?
6.1, I think. And then Herman ran a 6.0 something, 6.09
during the race, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm like,
I was doing 6.1s with your car that you just started developing yesterday.
Don't throw me under the table like that, because if I don't do a 6.1 now, I'm going to look like a fool.
You're doing 6.1s too, right?
I'm not going to confirm or deny that answer.
You talk to my lawyer.
Talk to my agent.
My agent, yeah.
But I think like it doesn't matter what the rules are. You kind of have that benchmark of like last year, and as a racer, you're never going to accept that the car is just slower. You're always going to be like, okay, well, I know we ran 6.0 something last year, so our goal is always to just get faster.
But this year you don't have the Jag, which was a wider car. You have the Jag, but you need to use the side skirts.
Yes.
Which makes the car a little bit narrow and a little bit heavier on the back.
But only the XJR10.
Yeah, the 10. Yeah, the other ones, they're narrow naturally. The 10 was a little bit wider than ever, no?
No, they're all the same.
No, they're not.
They are.
No, they're not. The 10 is much wider. All right.
It's 64.5 versus 64 millimeters.
Okay. The problem with the chassis is wider. The whole thing is wider and lower. Then you have the guides that we now decide to race only slotted, not the Franken slot or the slot invasion, which is a little bit wider, which is something that is going to bring the time a little bit up.
Yes,
but at the same time, you guys have a full year to develop new strategies and new tires and new whatever it is. So
that's all I've been doing. I don't have a job. This is my full-time thing.
I have a replica of this track at my house.
Exactly.
Same
in my
paint.
head.
Yeah, in my head. But yeah, I believe you guys are gonna do 6.0s or even 5.9s during qualifying.
Maybe, yeah, it's possible.
Yeah,
I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, no, I could do a 6.0 yesterday with your car in yellow.
Again, you're putting the pressure on me.
Yeah, is that the car that you're planning to race, the Nissan?
I don't know.
You don't know yet.
It's much better than my 956 right now. I took my 956 out after I had done a beautiful paint job on it, and it was just crap.
Have you tried the 962?
No.
Yeah. So it's weird because people go with the 956 because it has a lower wing, back wing, and of course it's lower gravity. But on hard body at Buena Park, we tried the 956 and it's bad. And then as soon as you put a 962 in the same car, the car just...
Well, because the 962 has the front wheels are in a different spot. They're further forward, I think, as well.
I didn't know
that. And Jeff brought a 962 short tail, which just came out, and he loves that thing. So how many white kits can you buy? In 2 months, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody's going for the Nissan, and the Nissan is not that available. They're coming up with a new one, but I don't know if we're gonna have it on time.
Yeah, I felt like they were kind of running out of them.
Yeah.
Herman and I were talking about that.
Yeah.
He keeps asking me to paint bodies, so.
Yeah, I should.
Thanks, Herman.
I might have to order more of the white kits then.
Yeah.
So people don't rely on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kinda.
But I think the Nats this year is going to be pretty incredible. You have, it's pretty much sold out.
Sold out.
Yeah.
It's virtually sold out. I have I have 3 open, 2 that I'm saving for a group of that's coming from Mexico that I already told Carlos that they're coming. I just haven't figured out. And one that I'm saving from Travis, the slot car guy. That slot car guy.
Okay.
I'm trying to bring him from Austria.
Hey, mate. Yeah.
Hey, mate. Yeah. It's kind of during
negotiation phase.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm sure he's requiring a huge contract.
Yeah,
first class flight. Yep.
Yeah, it needs to be.
Seems like his
Hills.
Personality
Needs full time Escalade.
Yep.
With a driver.
Personal chef.
Yeah. Personal chef. No.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, we're negotiating and trying to bring Travis here. If I don't bring for the nationals, I'm probably gonna bring
The NSR race, maybe?
To the NSR race at the end of the year, or maybe yeah. And the idea with him is having him sleeping at the museum to do a night at the museum kind of thing. Have a sleeping bag. And I spoke with Scott. Scott, whatever. I don't like the idea, but I
mean, it's like if you're going to sleep somewhere, it's not the
a
worst
night at the
place
museum,
to sleep.
right? Yeah. So the guy's a slot car freak. There you go.
Sleeping in Iron Man's garage, basically.
Iron Man's garage,
yeah.
But yeah, so he's gonna have like a night at the museum. That's the idea, and have like videos and stuff done. I like him very much. I met him in the UK.
At the Slot Car Festival.
Slot Car Festival a couple months ago. He's very enthusiastic. It's very how can I tell you that? He'll really love it. It's a true feeling of him. He's not like forcing anything. He literally loves lot cars, and he loves meeting people. I introduced him to Jules from Pioneer. I introduced him to Mauricio. I introduced him to Steve at True Speed.
Okay.
And just, this is the guy. This is the guy. It was just kind of crazy going there. So it's cool to have that kind of enthusiasm around.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna be great to have him out at the Nationals.
It'd be cool.
Another guy that I'm trying to bring, and it's almost there. And you know about that. It's Michael Nimas.
Yes, I thought it was for sure.
It is. We're trying to figure out the guys who want to do the masterclass. Like that's why we're providing.
Yes.
We're providing a Michael Nimas masterclass at
Yes.
Scott's house with Scott's tools. So it's a full day thing.
That sounds incredible.
Full day thing. 8 to 10 hours workshop with catering. That you're going to learn everything that you could learn about painting from literally Michael Jordan. It's just like Michael Jordan trying to fix her jumper or something.
Are you saying my jumper sucks? What
no,
are you
I'm just saying I never saw it, but yeah, probably if you have Michael Jordan, you're going to improve it.
Sure.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. And it's weird because I know that if I put a workshop like that in England or in Spain, I'm going to have sold out on the same day. But here, people still kind of about painting, about modeling is not like, especially related to slot cars.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I mean, I know I'm going to throw Rick under the bus right now, but Rick told me I'm never going to paint one of these slot cars. And I was like, I just feel like if you don't paint it, it's not your car. That's kind of how I view it. It's like it's an equal part of the process.
They're focused on other things. Like
going fast. Yes,
like
I
going
know.
Fast. I paint a couple. I think I suck at it. After doing Michael's...
So you need the master... So
no,
this is all a play just
in Germany.
for you to get the master
I did it in
class.
Germany. I stayed the whole day with him in Germany. That's why I'm bringing it. Because
Did you have a sleepover?
Not, almost. I got there at 8 a.m. and left at 8 p.m.
Okay.
But that's the thing. Like, if I can do it, like I feel confident to do anything now. Like painting, like it's so... If you see it, it's so... into details, like how to mix clear coat.
Yeah.
How many minutes you need to dry it. Like he dressed himself just to paint.
Yeah.
That's like this exactly way to get out of air coming in and out. And he looks at the thing that you just painted. See this thing here? It's just because you have the wrong clothes. Just a little thing on the coat. Because when you're spraying, they're pushing air. It's just the whole, sometimes it's annoying. Like, I think it's too much, Michael. Like, you need to drive for 3 days.
Michael.
3 days, Michael? Yeah, 3 days. It took like 30 days to paint a body. What?
But that's like, 2,000 euros for a slot car. I mean, it's like the stuff of legend. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The way that they race, in Germany, at this club that is close to Michael's house, by your car. Oh, that's the guy with the Ferrari 250.
Sure.
And if you crash one time, they stop the track. Like if somebody just slotted, they stop the track because afraid that somebody else is going to crash on you.
Yes, that's
if you dislot the second time, you're gone. Too much mess.
Get out.
Get out. Get out of here.
Rookie.
Because they're afraid to crash their cars.
Sure.
And Michael, he receives cars.
Broken cars
or crashed cars for body shop, for body work.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And it's a $2,000 car.
Yeah.
And by your car. Oh, that's the guy who run the GT40 Ken Miles car.
It's probably a lot like the gentleman's circuit where they race like retro cars at like Laguna Seca and stuff.
Yeah, or here at Misak.
Yeah.
When we have Misak here in the 60s, 70s. So this is sort of thing that I would like to do.
Yeah, it's
personally.
Cool.
It's cool as hell. But I don't think we have the public. And reflecting that, it's going to be hard to fill 2 groups of 10 people to have the Michael Nima's masterclass.
Yeah.
Even though that I know that if somebody who is, okay, I want to attend, they're going to be super happy about it because the guy's a great teacher.
Yeah.
And he's the number 1. But it's going to be hard to convince the guys to go there. Plus, it's not expensive, but it's compared to a price of a car, you can buy like 4 good cars.
I mean, the experience of doing that with him is, I think priceless.
And I need to say thank you to Michael because the day that I was there, I was supposed to have 3 people with me, and he canceled everybody because it would be a mix of English and German. So he did just for me in English.
Wow.
So it was a whole day experience for him.
That's crazy.
Plus,
he actually, back when you were dissecting my cars, you pointed out the clear coat issue, and that was actually because of something I was doing wrong. And Michael actually helped me fix that. I sent him a Facebook message, and like 3 days later, he's like, "Hey, my friend, like you're doing this, you're doing that. Don't mix this, don't mix that." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
So I actually switched over to solvent paints. Based on his recommendation, and like all my cars are coming out, 200% better
with a Facebook message. Imagine
just that.
Imagine 8 hours.
Thank you,
with the
Michael.
guy. Imagine 8 hours with the guy.
I know.
And plus, the guy's just the coolest. Like we raced together at the 24-hour in Italy a month ago, literally a month ago, and the guy's just the coolest. Like he's the coolest. He's how can I tell? He's a great racer, no doubt about that. But he's so intelligent.
Yes.
I was taking care of the car, and then at some point I wasn't there because I was sleeping. And then when I came back to the track, he was the one taking care of the car. And our hubcap came out on the second heat. Nobody noticed. But on the 20th heat, they asked us to put it back.
Okay.
So he grabs a hubcap, an extra hubcap. The car comes out of the track. He puts back, gives back to the guy. The guy puts back on track. The hubcap came out again. So we need to glue it, right?
Okay.
What he does was so smart because the guys brought back the car. He picked up a new hubcap, saw a soldering iron, just punch it. So we have like extra flash coming out of the side of it, and just put it back and give it to the guy. It was just like that.
That's crazy.
That's crazy because I knew that we have a way to go there. I was trying to flex it or something like that. But just a pop. There we go.
Herman used to tell me, so like I said, on the drives down and stuff, Herman's been everywhere. Yeah. Like Herman has been, all over Europe.
From racing with kids.
Yes. That's the point I was getting to. Okay. Is that he used to go to the JP Van Rossen races.
Yes.
And Michael apparently would go to those and did really well. And so he met them. They met there. So Michael's been racing this kind of stuff forever.
Michael is like 4 or 5 times German champion.
Yeah.
Actually, check it out.
Oh, show and tell.
Show and tell.
Do you have an autograph picture?
No, I have right here, and that's a card that we're gonna do one of the race winners.
Okay.
That's Michael's 2022.
Oh.
German.
Oh, that's sweet. That's a beautiful color.
German champion car. He won the championship with this. It's a NSR body.
Custom wheel inserts too.
Oh yeah.
It looks like.
Yeah. Weird. Oh yeah. Anyway, I didn't see this car. It was the first time that I'm opening. So it's a Porsche 908.
That's a lie.
It's a Porsche 908. No, it is Porsche 908 NSR body with a completely carbon.
What the hell?
Yeah, I never saw this before.
With a Cahosa guide and
Cahosa guide.
That's crazy. What the heck?
See the magnets here?
Yes.
Those cars, they go like wing cars.
That's crazy.
And he was not the top qualifier, but he won the race, and he's a German champion with that. But anyway, I'm gonna show more of this car on a
Please do.
race winner. That's a cool car.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and he led me to make the race winning car video. Yeah. Plus, the guy is just the coolest guy that you can race.
Yeah.
Talking about the WRE.
Yes. Don't put me on the spot.
No, yeah, that's a official invitation. You need to be on our team next year.
Okay.
We're gonna figure it out.
Okay.
Like the way that we did this year was kind of a messy because Eddie came and he wanted to stay for a month in Europe.
Yeah, he became a European citizen for a month.
Yeah, an African citizen. So Rick came with his wife, was his honeymoon, and they stayed in another hotel. It was kind of messy to pick him up. I was there for the first time. I got Michael there for the first time, but he kind of knew the track, the surface, the Nico surface.
Sure.
And I brought Elliot to be the guy.
Who I heard was real fast too.
Yeah, the guy with the experience to race that long races in Nico track. And we had Dennis, but Dennis got COVID, so we were on 5. Again, was the first time, and we did pretty well. Like at some point we were 5th.
I was watching, and I was like, they keep moving up. Yeah, and it was exciting.
We started with a bad. The thing is, on the night before, they make you disassemble the whole car, and you need to put the whole car together in front of them because they give you motors and tires, and you don't have time to test it. You just go to the track. So we went to the track for qualifying. The car wasn't working, so we kind of what the fuck's going on? So we need to change the car. We need to, and if you change the car, you get like 40 laps or something like that.
Oh man,
10 laps, I think. And there's a penalty, and plus first car and second car. So we're going to start with the race with the second car. The first car is supposed to be better.
Okay.
And there was
how many cars did you put together?
You can deliver 2.
Okay.
And plus spare parts.
Okay.
But the problem is, if you change the car, you have only the first 2 hours to change the whole car.
Yeah.
After that, you just fix the car.
Okay. So under green flag?
Yes, always under
green
flag. So if you decide to change the car, you can tell the marshals, they change your car, they give you a 10 lap penalty or 40.
Oh, so you switch over to like the T car.
Yeah.
Back like when Formula One, they just jump out and go to the other car. Okay.
Yeah, but you have a penalty.
Yeah.
But we didn't want to do that because the first car is supposed to be a little bit faster. And then when to qualify was bad. And then I kind of worked my political way over there and say, look, you guys made me put this car together in front of you at night. The soldering iron was working just correctly. I have no... It was very hard. It was at night. It was all dark. They put lights on it because when I got to the table, they have the night practicing going on. Mm-hmm. And they barely have lights for me, so I have to put the car together. Michael, stay with me. If you see I'm doing something wrong, just let me know. So Michael was here and was putting the car together. And the car didn't work at the qualifying. And then I put the blame on them. Say, look, it's probably the motor that you gave me is faulty. Let's open up and try the car on the bench before the race starts. Yeah. And they kind of agree. And over there, we kind of saw that it was just the brakes.
Yeah.
The brakes were too low.
Yeah.
So we fixed the brakes. The car was good. And then we went for that. But we started last.
Yeah.
So it was cool to see.
Yeah, you guys climbed up like crazy. Yeah, every 10, 15 minutes, it was like just getting a little closer, a little closer. It was exciting.
I had my very first hit was very bad. I have literally a argument in my shitty Italian with one of the marshals. Was literally showing videos to other guy while the race was happening.
Yeah.
And I crashed 2 times and the guy wasn't even look to the track. And oh my God, I shit the guy down a lot. Like I spoke like 3 or 4 words that I know in Italian and he got very upset. And turns out that the guy won the race.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, great. So I pumped him up.
Good job. You poked the bear.
Yeah.
You poked the bear.
Anyway. But my first hit was very bad. Elliot, Michael, and Rick, they jumped and they were at speed already.
Yeah.
We didn't have the fastest car. There was like 5 cars that were much faster than ours.
Yeah.
Which is something that we need to figure out because they have the same equipment. The rules are very...
Yeah.
So we need to figure out what the fuck is going on.
The NSR guys were ridiculous. I mean, the lead that they had was insane. So that's a pretty tall hill to climb.
Yeah. The guy who made the pole is the guy who does the tampon printing for the cars.
What?
The guy who does the
tampo printing.
Printing, yeah.
So the guy who does the tampo printing is a good driver.
Is pole position, yeah.
Okay.
So everybody, that's cool about an SR. Everybody's involved in racing.
Interesting.
Everybody's involved in racing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a nice race, but it was the first time doing that, and now we're gonna get a little bit more serious. Now I think we need more.
It wasn't serious before. The limited production car was.
It was, but now we kind of know what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
And I think Scott liked it for us being there, like he was following too.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a little bit more of structure to go there.
Do you have anything in your contract that says if you don't win that race, you're getting let go?
I don't think we're going to win because those guys are pros. But we need to be a little bit better.
If they're pros, what does that make us?
No, we're pros too, but they're pros there.
Okay.
It's just like they're coming here saying, oh, we're going to win. No, they're not. You know, it's if to win that race, I think it's going to take like 5 years.
Sure.
And 5 years with the same drivers.
The $250,000 slot car race.
Yeah.
Yes. Our program. It's like the Michael Fassbender
going to Le Mans.
Road to Le Mans, but with the WRE.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to you producing that, Carlos.
Yes. So we're probably going to have you on board, and we're going to have either Carlos or Mark traveling with us to help us out with during... The guys had radios. The guys had like drivers. They had like extra people just to help around the track. And if you had that, probably didn't have the problem of people putting your car in the wrong lane with the wrong sticker, because somebody's going to be there reviewing it.
Yeah.
And that will bring us to 7th or so.
Yeah, and without the braid issue. Yeah, you might qualify a little better.
Yeah, the qualifying's kind of weird. Doesn't matter much because the only thing is you need to be... You have 4 tracks.
Yeah.
So you need to be on the top track.
Yeah, you want to get with the good guys, right?
Yes, because then you're going to be race most of the race with those 2 first groups.
Yeah.
We raced most of the race with it because we qualified last with the last 2 groups. So we need to be halfway up. So you don't need to be super fast or pole. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, I gotcha. Well, I mean, qualifying matters a lot. To some extent.
Yeah, for that, yeah. We're debating who's going to do the qualifying, and Elliot was a little quicker, so he did it. Next time I'm going to be quicker. I like to do qualifying.
All right.
But yeah, that's an official invitation.
Okay.
Figure out
I've already told my girlfriend that this is coming down the pipeline. So
how long have you been together?
We're working on 5 years.
5 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's manageable then.
Yes.
Still.
I still have some freedom.
It's not like you have 20 years and 2 kids.
No. 3 cats.
3 cats.
5 years.
You guys living together?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
This interview took an interesting turn. Love you, Ashley.
But that's the thing. Like, the race is pretty cool. I think it's if you go organizer, we can get in and out. We don't need to stay a month in Italy.
Yeah.
I stay a little longer because I was visiting
business trip,
and then I went to England for the UK festival. So,
yeah.
But yeah, we can get in and get out. Like, we need like solid 5 days there.
Yeah.
After that,
what was it like adjusting? Like, how hard was it to just sort of adjust to the time period and then still be able to do your best work?
I don't.
You travel so much.
Yeah, I don't feel jet lag like that. Plus, at some point, you have to be awake almost 24 hours, so it's all messed up already.
Yeah.
One thing that I did that nobody wants to do is like they canceled the night of the hotel during the race because you're not gonna be there. I kept mine, so I could go there and shower.
Yes.
So I had 3
Good call.
So I have 3 different outfits during the race. So yeah, that's something that we need to do. These little things that you learn.
Yeah,
like
that's always
food. It's kind of hard. Like at some point I went to the market and brought a lot of croissants and stuff like that. But we could do a little bit healthier and to be more focused.
Yeah.
There's a need of a little catering to the racers, and people, when you focus on the race, you need to be focused on the race, not doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I was driving around, I was picking up Rick, and I was driving Eddie up, and luckily the hotel that we stayed we couldn't walk to there, but I didn't want people walk at night, so I drove them.
Yeah.
And at some point I get like 3 people out of the race, and then when you see there's only one racer and one guy marshalling, nobody's taking care of the car.
Yeah.
So these little things we need to figure out, but I think if you agree to go with us, and I'm going to work on the business side of it, we're going to be much more organized, and we know what to do. Plus,
I mean, you have my word that I would love to join you guys. It'd be my privilege. I'm going to do everything I can to be there.
Thank you very much. Let's try to make it. There's another mistake that we did. Is like we're selling the car, right? We're selling the body that Michael designed.
Oh, I wasn't going to bring that up.
No, yes, we're selling. Like, the link is on the links below. That's what he pay. That is what he's paying for a trip, actually.
Okay.
The profits of the sale of the car is paying. So Andrea gave us, besides the 100 cars that he made, he gave us 8 bodies so we can race. So I gave one of each racer. I ship one to Michael, I ship one to Elliot. So
nice.
Bring a car, set up a car and bring it over. And at some point it was hard to decide. Which one's going to race.
Sure.
There's too many options.
Yeah.
And we ended up racing with a chassis that the guys from Slot Terraza gave to us. It was a little quicker than the ones that we prepared. Yeah. And then we decided to go there. I was hoping to go with car number 2. That was the one I put together because it was kind of more technical. But at the track, the other car was working a little bit better. So there's too many options, and you don't have the time to figure out. And some drivers like this, sometimes like that, and sometimes get upset because you didn't choose their car. So next year we're gonna go with 3 cars and the spares, and that's it.
Yeah.
Whatever we have is that it.
How do you feel like the tuning methodology is different for the plastic track versus the wood track? Like, how are they setting up the pod and the float and everything?
Well, to start, they have the wheels all the way up. The wheels don't touch.
Yeah, in the front.
Minimal tire all the way up.
Yeah. Just
That's
for
it.
weight, basically. Yeah, it's like a 124 scale car.
Yes. There is no spacers on the guide. Like I had one little spacer because I think sometimes.
Yeah, the rail comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the track, that's something that we try. I'm personally trying to change the Nico track for polycar. It's a much nicer surface, and it's available. So people, if you want to practice for that race, you can buy it. So you see the car just sometimes at night when you have the lights, you see the lights coming off and on because the car is just jumping.
Sure.
There's no bridge on the track, so
I noticed. Yeah.
So the inner lanes are faster.
Yeah.
The middle lane's supposed to be faster, and they're not. They're much slower. Talking about the car, so you have this triangle pod, right? So sometimes people
the
leave it
NSR
loose.
Classic pod. Yeah.
We try everything. I came up with to almost lock the front screw and leave the two rear ones loose.
Yes.
But not loose up and down, just loose side by side, right?
Yeah.
And I showed to Andrea, no, Marco, we do this. He showed me his car. So his car the front pod is completely locked. The front screw is completely locked.
Oh, okay.
Locked. And the back one has space.
Tons of droop. Yeah. Interesting.
And then I tried to do one car and didn't work for us. So we came back with the official setup. And the car that we got from Slot Terraza that we didn't touch, the chassis that they gave us, was the same way that was in the middle, because they have a little bit loose in front and a half of what Andrea showed me on the back.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and the car was working. The one thing that we did on the spot is that we had 2 bodies with lights.
Yeah.
One of the bodies, I did it. Another one, Dennis did it. Dennis had the chip on the side of the car, so it's easy to turn on and off. Okay. Because you do it with a magnet.
Sure.
And I had behind the driver, a little bit lower.
Got it.
Because you still have a space between the motor and the driver. Michael saw that and went nuts. No, this is too high. So he wants to drop the chip to have more. And he found like a little sponge. And since you have to add weight to the body.
Sure.
So he had that thing, and the chip was much lower. But he has this idea to have the body a little bit heavier than the other guys. So the minimum was 22 and he had a 26. And
wow, that's heavy.
We try, and I kind of have to convince him to cut out that off. So we use his body with the lower chip, but we kept at 22. And the car, comparing to bodies, because we changed the bodies on the same car, the car was much faster than that.
Interesting, yeah.
So things that we're learning at the track that we're supposed to learn before. Yeah. So we're losing time.
I mean, that's how it is at every
but we're losing time on little things that we should know better.
Sure.
And those guys who are there racing for 20 years the same race, they know already.
Yeah. No. I mean, I feel like that when I come down here. Like yesterday, I started off, and the car was good, and I'm like, it's good, but like I need it to be excellent, right? Yeah. And then the middle of the day, I'm like messing around with stuff that it's just like, this is a disaster. Like, what is going on? And it's just downhill. And then towards the end of the day, you're like, all right, it's kind of coming back up, but it's like you're spending so much time working on stuff that's just so dead ended. Yeah, it kind of sucks.
It makes the car worse, and the car is a mess now. Yeah, everything that you prepare almost clean and nice now is all around.
Seriously,
I know. Yeah. I know the feeling.
And what's crazy, to your point, is that I've been talking to Todd a bit about his setups. I've looked at Rick's cars, behind his back when he's not here, and my cars. They're all different. Yeah. It's kind of crazy how, because I remember somebody was asking Maurizio last year to do a video or a tutorial on how to tune the pod. And Maurizio was like, I can't really. No, yeah. Because every track, every condition is different. And it's crazy how.
Not only that, there's preferences too.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I tried a bunch of stuff yesterday. Like yesterday I ran a floaty pod, like loose pod, and then I tightened it in the front, and I was like, what's the difference? Like the car felt like really similar.
No,
it's crazy.
I do those race winner videos here, and I see a bunch of stuff that I would do differently.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that I might can improve the car, or I might have a bad day and just make the car worse.
Yeah.
So it really depends. Maybe you have the rear locked, and that's working just because you have a different weight distribution.
Yeah.
So it's all related. So
Yeah.
you need to find out what
It's
it
like a
is.
whole system. Yeah.
That's why I like so much Bonaparte hard bodies, because you can build the chassis. And then you can kind of put your philosophy in the whole thing.
Yeah.
And if it's working, it's working. If it's not, you just need to try to change, and you can be much more precise and specific. Right now, I have a car over there that it's currently the record holder. And if I need to race tomorrow, I know what to do with that car. If I want to duplicate that car and make a new chassis, I'm never going to be as fast as
So
that
you're just
one.
challenging everyone right now.
Yes.
You're like, come at me.
Yes.
I got the car.
I go there each 6 months when they beat my record, and I beat the record and come back. See you in 6 months, and just leave. They're pissed. They're pissed.
You know, it's a crazy.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Do you know the story about the cake?
No.
I'm gonna tell you quickly the story about the cake and that race. You know the story of the cake, right? So they changed the motor. Now you can use, I think it's the Mike Swiss motor, or the Chicagoland, or the
the
Roger Schmidt.
sealed, yeah.
So now you can use that motor, and the motor is a little bit stronger. So when they change the rules, they say, okay, my record is going to be gone. And they have something they call the 4-9 club. There's only like 5 or 6 people who did the below 5 seconds lap.
Okay.
I was in there. There's a bunch of other older guys, and that races they've been doing for like 15, 17 years, right? So there's only 5 or 6 people who do 4-9s. And after they changed the motor, 2 races later, Keith Tanaka, who is the guy that puts the race together, he broke the 4-9. He did a 4-8-9 something.
Okay.
People are thrilled. Oh my God, we finally
Killed Marco.
Next, no, not only that, but they came next month. There was a guy who was just starting. He was so surprised about that. He made a cake with the 4-8-9 something. Brought to Keith. They took pictures, and then I walked in.
I see where this is going.
And I did a 4-8-2 or something.
Yeah.
And the guy was pissed with
Yeah.
the cake. Keith was just like that, saying, "You want me a cake? You want me a cake?" And the guy, every time that I see him say, "I own your cake," I know.
Yeah.
But they were so excited about celebrating the kids' 4-8, and they just took one day.
Sometimes when somebody wins all the things, people want to see him come down a little bit.
As I told you, like that's the race that I like the most.
Yeah.
That's so fun to develop. Like my last car has like a DRS system. The wing comes down on the straights.
Are you supposed to be talking about this?
No, yeah.
Is it a double DRS? Is
no,
it like
just,
Red Bull 2023?
No, it's just like a little. It's a Porsche 962.
Okay. I think I've seen your pictures of it.
Yeah, with a little
cool.
spring system.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you might get some time on the straight, but what we do is on the corners.
Sure.
Like when you go to the large radius corners, and you have the wing coming down a little bit, fighting the air, you have less resistance, and you can feel that the car goes more smoothly on those corners.
You can feel that.
You can feel that.
Wow.
If you put the wing back, I put tape to see it, and you see the car just struggling to go around.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's where you gain time.
Well, you're a cheater then.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
That's the beauty about that class. You can innovate. You can come with new stuff. And next week, people might be copying you.
Their DRS,
yeah, but that's fine.
That's something I kind of miss about these cars is like when I was racing, I did really well with GT12 class. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Yeah. That's what I raced in Brazil. Yeah.
Yeah, the brass and wire cars. Well, yeah, because you guys had the Red Fox chassis.
The Red Fox chassis came a little later. We raced Parolo, which is TWP now, from Paulo Parolo.
Okay.
It's a classic slot car racing store in São Paulo. We had a guy called Santiago who came up with some nice chassis. We had Lineo, the guy who makes the little helmets today. Lineo is one of the biggest chassis designers.
Interesting.
And he was doing chassis design to a place called Sprint, who mass produced it.
Okay.
There is a guy. Brazil's kind of weird because those scratch building, you mass produce it. There's a guy who going to mass produce it, and you have the homologated chassis for that.
Yeah,
which is brass and piano wire mass produce it.
I missed that. Yeah.
So that's why that's what we did. Like we get the mass-produced chassis, which was very expensive.
You completely take it apart.
Completely take it apart and redo everything.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like it's finished. It's not finished.
So there's this guy called Surfista, which means surfer in America.
Okay.
This is his nickname. He picked up the design made by Linneo or Google, and he mass-produced it. So this guy probably built around 1 million chassis. Not
That's
only
crazy.
designed it, he built 1 million. He delivered 1 million chassis.
Yeah.
So we have here Dennis Sansom delivering almost 1,000 chassis, which is a lot. We had
That's a lot.
Tony P that just passed. He was like, I think, around 2,000 chassis. We have other builders like Dominic or John Jersey. Those guys are around the thousands. This guy delivered 1 million chassis.
That's crazy.
Like, only my father, he probably bought like 5,000 when he had a store.
How many pounds of lead do you think that he inhaled through his life from all that solder? That's crazy.
Yeah. It's and the chassis were nice. We just need to. Sometimes you don't need to redo the whole thing. You do for your racing, but
Yeah.
they're ready to go.
Yeah. No, I remember doing that, taking it apart. We had RPM chassis or PDQ chassis. There were a bunch of different brands. But yeah, you'd get it. You'd be like, cool, set it down. And you just literally put it on a block and undo every joint.
Piano wire if
Yep.
it's straight and if it's not tension.
Yeah.
That's what I started doing it, actually.
Yeah.
When I start to race, we have like a track called Hobby, just hobby toys, and those guys have the copper lane track.
The tape? Okay.
Copper tape lane track. So the rule was you need to be 1 millimeter high, and the wheels need to touch. The front wheels need to touch. So before you go to track, there's a guy tacking your car,
Yeah.
so you don't damage the track.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, those guys. They stay on business from the 60s to the 90s.
That's
My
crazy.
father used to race there before I was born. So when I got there, shortly after, this guy came up with some sort of a Blue King that he copied from one of the magazines. Was not a Blue King, but it looks like a Blue King.
Sure.
8-lane, kind of cool. And this guy started to smuggle slot car parts from Pro Slot and stuff.
Got it.
He found a way to bring it because in Brazil we have the commerce for imports were closed. So
Yeah.
this guy started selling parts out of his trunk in front of Hobby Toys. And after that, he founded his own track, and he was very smart, and he was very connected to here. So he built himself, and he was very talented. His name is Luis. He opened Portland Raceway,
Okay.
and with this big looking track. But the game was completely different. The cars that we have at the Hobby Toys made with Oxford
work.
engines, 132nd inline stuff.
Yeah.
They work shittily. That's a new word. So this guy started to import, and then started wing races and the Group 12. And then the guys from Sao Paulo who already were doing this, he started to develop new chassis. And it was pretty cool to have this around.
Yeah.
And then I started to move there. And one of the big things, because the track was kind of a vintage Blue King, kind of
Yeah.
eyeball, literally, we figured out that the chassis was the big game, not only the motors. So I was the guy with 13, 14 years old doing the chassis. And then I started to run races, and I won my first championship there, a Group 12 championship. And so people started to ask me to do cars. So I was charging a lot of money to do the chassis. 1 year later, there's a new track called Turborama, like Turbo and Autorama.
Okay.
And this guy was a guy from the home country that brought his track to the capital, to Porto Alegre. But this guy was struggling. He was not a good businessman. And he invited me over to work for him when I was 13, 14 to do the chassis because he was focusing on motors. I did so many chassis to that guy that he started to owe me money. He couldn't pay me. He couldn't pay me for the chassis that I was doing. And he was owing me so much money that my father used that amount of money as a down payment to take the track over.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's crazy.
We got the track. We stayed. My father was operating the track for almost 3-4 years, and I was working for him as
crazy.
a chassis. And then I started to do motors because that guy has like I don't know how to pronounce it in English. Lathe. Lathe.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So he has the only lathe for armatures in the country.
Oh, got it.
In the country.
That's crazy.
And I inherited that thing, so I started learning doing motors. Or Group 20 racing was just amazing and big. 20 people
Wing
racing
card,
those very expensive cars. The exchange rate for dollars was 1-1. They opened the market. We could import legally. So between 94 and 97, 95 and 97, late 97 was like the boom of slot cars for us.
Yeah,
and
same.
After that, just died.
Yeah.
And that was the time that I was working for my father.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
No, we almost done here.
No, I gotta go.
No, we're almost done here.
No, I gotta go.
Okay, go and come back.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Sorry. All
right. To finish up, why West?
Oh,
it's like a cigarette addiction or something.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Is that serious? No.
No.
No. So there's a couple reasons.
Okay.
One is I think it's one of the cool. I'm like really inspired by like the late '90s MP14 kind of
Mika Hakkinen
era.
Kimi Räikkönen.
Yeah.
David Coulthard.
Just like that '90s kind of vibe. It's really cool. But there's a couple of cool things about it. One, I kind of brought the cars just in case. But the thing about this that I really like is that it's really easy to identify the lane sticker color.
Okay.
So because there's like this car, not so much, but there's a lack of sort of craziness that goes on. Like a lot of the cars are very multicolored. And so because this car is very like simple, it's just easier to identify what lane it's on. So that is sort of like the first one I did last year at the Nats, and then just kind of grew. Like it just kind of became, I kind of like this.
Identify yourself with that. So you identify with the liver, not with the cigarettes.
Yes, correct.
All right.
Yeah, and then at the Christmas Enduro,
should you put some legal copy on the bottom of the car?
probably on the bottom of my hoodie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I just kind of went with it because it was fun, and then my girlfriend started getting into it and she's like, I'm going to buy you some West McLaren stuff. Like she bought me a little mini backpack.
Oh, okay.
So it just kind of like, it started with just like one, and then it was like, this is fun. I'm just going to kind of go with it.
I think they should come back with cigarette livers.
I
don't care about the kids. It's just cool. It's
the
cool.
best liveries. The best liveries. We're gonna kill Carlos.
Go.
The best liveries were always cigarettes or alcohol.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Martini, West. We have Camel, Marlboro.
Yeah,
there you go. But when I was a kid, my father and my
Gigantes.
mom. John Player Special. Yeah. When I was a kid, my father and my mom, they went to the Brazilian GP in Rio, and they came back with samples of cigarettes. It's like very small matchbox size cigarettes, and they gave it to me. What? Not to smoke, to play like their little cars, because they look like little cars. So they have camo and GPS.
And that, my friend, is why cigarettes...
Yeah, I need to smoke, actually.
Yeah.
Don't smoke.
Yeah, that's crazy. The level of marketing that they used to do was just kind of like insane. Like the people who run motorsports, it's always kind of been like super, super wealthy oil cigarette tycoon. Yeah, exactly.
We just talked about the Moneytron guy.
Yes.
Yeah. So
JP Van Rossum.
Yeah, he threw a lot of money on that.
Yeah. You connected that, right? With Michael Nimas and yeah. It's crazy. It's a small world.
Yeah, cigarettes needs to come back. Like it's just like they sell. It's not like because you have a car passing by, you go, oh, you need to smoke a Camel right now. No, it's just cool.
I think they've just moved on to the other market. I think they're just going to vaping now and digital.
Vaping, yeah. But you see, like,
no offense, Carlos.
Yeah. There's a lot of gambling sites. Well,
yes, there is.
Last year was just a lot of Bitcoin and crypto. Yeah, there's a lot of crypto, and now it vanished. And then you have the drinks. I remember not only Red Bull there, but there was a guy sponsoring Haas.
Oh yeah, Rich Energy.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Races. That's a crazy story.
The guy had to change the whole livery, and then next year they have the Russian guy with the they have to change the livery again.
Yes.
Oh my God,
who was that? What was it? Luke Oil? Luke Oil? Luck Oil?
No, the Russian.
Yeah.
No, was what's the name?
I don't remember what it was. Yeah, put Carlos on the spot.
Yeah, but that guy is one of the oligarchs who controls the assets for planting and for croppings and stuff. Oh my God, they're not lucky. I hope they find a sponsor. They have to change the whole. You know how much work you have to do to change your whole livery. It's not just the stickers on the car.
Sure, I get it.
Stickers on the bus, the clothing, the whole thing. It's like millions and millions of dollars and a lot of work.
Insane.
And they're already in the middle of the season. Have to deal with that. They have to literally erase every single. Ukali was the name.
Yes.
Ukali. Yeah. They have to erase every single thing. Twice, 2 years in a row. Oh fuck, right.
I'm just waiting for Wes to send me a cease and desist order, and then I have to change all my cars.
Oh, yeah, so to best.
Yes,
there
exactly. Yeah, best or east,
yeah,
whatever you want, or just Mika.
Yeah, there's talking about IP issues. There's a lot going on right now on Zlotka Road, and I tried to hold it for almost 3 months. This issue, and it's out there. Everybody knows about it. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, well, because I won't disclose who we heard these things from, but last year we talked about this, and it was kind of like a well-known thing where if you were kind of making a model, like a scale representation, it was fine. But then it seemed like that just went out the window this year.
Different laws, different countries, they cannot get people in Europe, but they target the stores here. They're selling it.
Yeah.
And
that's crazy.
Yeah, and it's probably coming from competition, a manufacturer competition, and the problem is we still buy from those guys too.
Yeah.
So
well, it hurts. It ends up hurting the retailer.
It's a bad move for everybody.
Yeah.
And at the same point, they're targeting only one factory.
Yeah.
And we have many others factory doing the same things with the same brand, and nothing is happening there.
Yeah.
It's weird. At the same point, I had Zach Brown here, and I gave to him 2 McLarens.
In this chair.
In this chair. There you go.
It still smells like him.
Well, I don't know if that's a good thing, but yes. So I gave 2 McLarens to him, registered and licensed McLarens from NSR, and we spoke a little bit about licensing and say, it's crazy. They should just reproduce and sell it because we have our car out there more.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just doesn't it's like 0.03%, 0.0003% of his revenue if I pay $3 per car to reproduce a McLaren. And it's just like, I understand that it's supposed to have some control so you don't do like weird things with the McLarens or models that don't represent it. But at the same point, to pay and to have all this paperwork and take months and months and come after you. Like the models that we're having issues with IP, they're perfect. Oh, I say that.
Oh.
Bleep it.
All right.
Seriously, bleep it.
I know.
And they're just going for the fact that the factory didn't do the process here in the West. But at the same time, they did it in the place that it's supposed to be. Anyway. It's a weird situation.
Hey, I wanted to ask you, what do you think the future of slot cars is, and how do you think we can keep it going and growing? Because
I'm supposed to ask you that.
No, I mean, I know you are, but we're supposed to have a dialogue. I want to have a dialogue about it, but
But he just told me, he went to the restroom. He told me that
I did not go to the restroom. I did not take a break.
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He just told me that I'm talking too much. So, so what do you think about the future of slot cars?
I think it's in a really good place right now. I think
we're living a new golden era, and people not.
I think we're getting there. Yeah, I think so. I know a lot of the 124 guys that used to race NorCal IMCA with me and USRA and all those stuff. They're they're slow. They're kind of pieces of plastic.
Toys, yeah.
But there's a lot of joy in turning a toy into a race car.
Yeah.
No,
but some of them are toys, some are not. You cannot call an SR a slotted or a Thunder slot or a MR slot car or a Black Arrow, whatever it is, professional Scaleauto, professional. It's not toys. They're not toys.
They're not toys, but they're also if you took a Dubik or some modern 124 Euro chassis and you compared them, you'd be like, oh yeah, this one's a toy. It's all just perspective. But I think that if you...
We were just talking about that. You have much more joy in racing 122nd because they're a replica of cars.
I do. That's why I'm not racing 124 anymore.
So you kind of balancing that out.
Yeah. No, I think that what I'm trying to get to is that I think that 132 is actually the new direction. Yeah. And I think that the 124 guys, we're getting one person, new person in 132 every month or two.
Yep.
They're just slowly making their way over, as I think it's kind of a critical mass where they're like, oh, all my old friends are racing this. I should probably go.
Give it a try.
Yeah. And then they get the
You see Rick Ling last year at the Nationals. Rick Ling was one of the finalists.
Yeah. Sign up for the Nats, Rick.
Oh,
What the
God,
heck?
Yes.
Yeah, I think.
By the way, the coolest guy to be around.
Is he?
Rick, yeah.
I wouldn't know. I only sat next to him at last year's
Yeah,
Nats.
he's the coolest
So
guy.
he's fun.
Yeah.
He's really fun.
So, replying to your question, like I've been asking people that some people are optimistic, some people are pessimistic.
About the future of slot cars?
Yes.
But who are the people that are pessimistic and who are the people that are optimistic?
It's kind of a mix. I talk to manufacturers. Some people say, "Oh, it's bright. We're selling more."
Yeah.
And there's people who's just like a little afraid about the future.
Are those people 124 people?
No, I'm talking
All of
about
them?
132nd. No, I'm talking about
okay.
132nd. 124th, I think it's in a really bad shape right now.
Yeah.
I think it's a very small group. We don't have, with all due respect, we don't have like professional factories of 124 scale.
Yeah, it's all cottage industry.
Yeah. Like if I went to the NSR factory last month. It's
crazy.
It's incredible. It's like 25, 28 people working. They have the whole manufacturer going up,
Yeah.
and they all assigned to their position, and they're producing like 3 to 5,000 cars a month.
Yeah. They're like a little miniature car factory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are. And I don't see that on 124. I saw people dealing with China and trying to bring one new thing and putting a lot of money and risking money.
Yeah.
I see Gugu developing new things, but it's not like a factory.
No.
So I think they're. I don't want to separate it into two groups, but I think it's a part of the hobby that is in a really bad shape. And I agree that people should try 132nd because it's getting faster and faster.
It is. But I will say, like, I try to tell this to people who get into 132. The difference between a bad 132 car and a good 132 car it's a big difference.
Yeah.
Like a 124 car, you can kind of put out there, foam tires, just works.
Yeah.
Whereas with 132, I think, and I talked to Herman about this, I think it's harder. I think it's harder to set them up. I think it's harder to drive them. It's more of a challenge.
Yeah.
And so, the people who don't think that...
It's kind of come back on time, but with the benefits of the modern world.
Yes. Yeah. I think it's a modernization, of like the olden day slot cars.
But we're talking about racing, we're not talking about the industry itself. And the industry, it's kind of my fear. We have the slot cars are back because I really believe that's something that Scott and I kind of not came up, because he was using slot cars are back for almost 10 years. If you see all the t-shirts that we have here, you see slot cars are back.
Mm-hmm.
I just branded and we're selling as a brandless campaign. So put the word out, because we both believe that we're going to a very nice age of slot cars right now compared to the 60s.
Yeah.
People don't realize. Maybe they will realize in 20 years. I don't know. But the problem is that most of our customers and the customers of the 132nd world are older guys between 67 and 80.
Yeah.
And those guys, they're not going to live forever. And we have a big base and we have a big sales point over there. And if those guys disappear, we need to start to grow a new market.
Yeah.
And we're not growing right now.
Yeah, it's tough.
So that's why you have pessimistic people. We say, they're going to die in 20 years. And it's tough for me to create new public, because we have the interest of people when they're kids from 10 to 18, and then they go to college, they get families.
That's what I did,
and
yeah.
then when they have kids, or when they don't have kids, or they have like a professional, stable life, they come back as a hobby.
Yeah.
So we have between 20 and 35, almost 40, we have a gap. And we cannot reach those guys. And we start to reach them when they're 40. And then they mix with the people 40, 50, 60, 70.
Yeah.
So that's the slice of the pizza that we're working.
Demographic, yeah.
Yeah, but it's hard to grow. It's very hard to grow. Yeah.
It's interesting because I talk to a lot of my friends about it, and they all think it's really cool. And I'll be like, come out. And I'll be like, nah, I don't know.
It needs involvement. And it needs investment and time. It's time consuming.
Yeah.
And sometimes when people walk in here and see you guys with boxes and then trying different tires.
It's our fault?
No, kind of. Actually, it's not your fault, but that's the reason that we don't have chairs here. It's basically that.
Basically me.
No. Seriously, we don't have chairs because if a new guy walks in and see you guys installed
Oh,
with
sure.
chairs,
Sure.
with drinks and boxes, if you go to Buena Park, people leave the boxes there.
Yeah, they do
have
that at
chairs with the
Motown as
name on it.
well. Yeah.
So that's kind of, it's not
It's intimidating.
intimidating
Yeah.
for new people. So right now, what I have a colorful store with music going on, and you guys need to stand. I'm sorry. You can stay the whole day, but you need to stand because if you get too comfortable, if somebody walks in, they're gonna say, "Okay, they're devoting a big part of their life."
Yeah.
Which is not true. Sometimes you're just here for a day and you come back for the race. But if they see that, it's just those guys are all the time. Like I feel that from Far Out. We have a very nice group of Far Out. They race
It's huge. Yeah.
They have like 30 active members. They race almost out of the box cars, which I don't like it because first we sell parts. Secondly, you can make your car nicer,
Yeah.
change it 2 or 3 parts. But that's their philosophy, so they can have new people coming in, and it has been
Yes.
working for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
But those guys, those groups, it's hard to get here because when they see this, I need to change the guide and the tire. They don't want to get involved. They like to race, but they don't want to get involved. And sometimes I have a couple of people say, "Come over, I help you out. I have your loaner," and they come to race. It's not the same feeling because at Far Out, so
It's yes, one.
Are you serious?
And it's Herman.
it's Herman. Oh my God! Pick it up.
Yeah. What's going on?
Nah, just checking on you, making sure controller's working okay for you. Or did you get?
I'm
Yeah,
literally
that was-
I'm literally in the interview right now, and you're literally on camera right now, and we're talking.
You should bye.
Bye. It must be because he's a preferred individual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But talking about this, Herman. Talking about the Far Out, the thing is, it's intimidating not for them to have to. It's the way that they race.
Yeah.
It's a weekend race. They have the cars ready for almost 5 years. They have 2 or 3 cars of each class. They
Yeah.
test the best one for that class, and that's it. They have fun, then drink some beers. So it's a different level of slot cars.
Yeah.
And to bring here, we have the group of the pros. We have the group of the guys who come here once a week to try, and they have the guys who just don't care.
Yeah.
And they have the newbies that do trying to. So it's hard to read, but right
It is.
now
Yeah. They're all different. Yeah.
I'm the optimistic one. We've built a business based on that. We've been buying more. We've been selling more. We've been showing up more. I think the work that we've been doing is kind of with my background, with Carlos' background, with Kristen, head of customers. We've kind of, I don't want to use the expression, but pushing the envelope on everything
Yeah.
that we're doing, not only the races, but the way that we promote it.
The level of professionalism that you guys have brought is above everything else in the industry.
No, and not to brag, but I think that's reflecting on manufacturers and other stores. I saw people doing more posters. I saw people doing race results and
Yeah.
things that they didn't do normally. I have like 15, 20-year-old clubs that never put a post together. Now they have posters. They're inviting more people over. There's a lot of clubs who just literally use our rules to do races.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is kind of, we try to do more invitable possible, and of course we have commercial interests. So
As you should.
But yeah, again, like if I have one motor for that race, it's just because that motor is available and not gonna change.
Yeah.
So little things.
I think that's something that's actually missing in 132 a bit, and it's great that you're kind of in that position for whatever reason. Is that there's no real organizing body. So
Yes.
like you're really the only person, the only group rather, that's putting on these sort of manufacturer-based races.
Yes.
In Northern California, we don't have that level of organization. It's like the different clubs kind of don't really talk to each other.
It's
and
a little leverage because I buy from those guys and I visit them.
yeah,
So it's kind of related to that. It's going to be hard for a club to put like an official NSR race or something like that.
yes,
Could happen, but it's based on my commercial relationship too. So that's kind of the reason why.
yeah,
But we're doing that because I figure that those guys need promotion here. I could sell more of their products,
Yep.
and I with their name on board, I can bring more racers. We're doing the second year of the Slotted Nationals here,
yes,
and it's full grid. 72 people. We qualify on Saturday, we race on Sunday. It's fun. We have a track call with Mauricio. It's going to be live this year.
We're gonna be live on YouTube.
It's going to be I can do live on YouTube. Yeah, I can do. Good idea.
Wow,
Good idea.
The track.
10% commission on that.
Okay, so here's your $2. We're gonna have 10 cameras on the track.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a new track system, new camera system. We're gonna have
Wow.
like a camera just for interview during the races, during the intervals.
Yes.
I'm gonna have an announcer during the race.
That's awesome.
So we're doing those little.
That's incredible.
The little change that we have the technology today.
Little.
Yeah,
That's pretty massive.
We have the technology today to do it. We have a owner that is on board of every crazy idea that we have. He's very proud of what he's doing. You know that he's passionate about it. He has a museum at his house.
Dude, going there and seeing his passion, it's like it kind of chokes you up a little bit because it's clear he just loves everything about slot cars. It's incredible.
People think it's just he's a wealthy guy who can
If you go to the museum, you know it's way more than that.
and he's active. I got more emails from him than Carlos.
What about more than Todd?
Not more than thought.
Okay.
But yeah, he's very active. Like small decisions, he's on board, and he has a report every day, every month. I show him a monthly report, and every end of the year, I have to be on the green.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that because this is kind of a
It's
real
a business.
It's a business and needs to be profitable.
Yes, it does. It needs to make financial sense in order to have these amazing events put on. It's not, I think people kind of sometimes gloss over that like at the end of the day, they need to go hand in hand.
Yeah, and he's a businessman. If you're not going profitable, it's going to be a problem. So that's something that we have on our back. But I'm one of the optimistic guys, and I think that everything that we're doing, like you're here yesterday, we were moving boxes, and everybody was sweating and forklifting and banging stuff, and it's everybody on board. I have Carlos, I have Luke, we have like Elias, who's just a summer job. Even Dennis was here in the bangings, but we're doing it. And
the great Mark Natividad.
And the great Mark Natividad.
Mark's so good, yeah.
I don't even mention Mark Natividad anymore. It's just like a gift that we had from heaven.
Yes.
In this place.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, Ian, thank you very much.
Thank you. My pleasure.
I have my last question.
Okay, let's do it.
Why Douglas with 2 S's? Is that numerology? Don't tell me it's numerology. I'm going to walk away.
Numerology?
Yeah. Why you have 2 S's in your name?
I didn't get to pick my last name.
Really?
Marco. It's not like you where your stage name, Carvalho.
Stage name.
No, it's the name that was...
They came with 2 S's already?
Yeah,
it's factory
Scottish.
original?
It's factory original, Scottish.
2 S's?
Douglas clan.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. I thought it was numerology or something.
No.
I was ready to walk away.
No. But thank you for remembering it and correcting it.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I
Nobody
appreciate
knows.
it.
I've been calling Mark with the K for almost a year, and then, it's with the C. Oh, fuck. Just let me know. How can I know? It's with the C, so Douglas with 2 S's. Thank you
I'm
very much.
surprised his checks were getting cashed.
Yes.
But yes, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. This is something I've dreamed about doing. So
No, come on. It's just a matter of time. I know that every time that you come here, you need to leave. So now
I do have to go home eventually.
Yeah, but now you came to practice, which is... Thank you very
Yeah.
much for coming too, and I hope to see you at the Nationals on the top qualifiers.
No pressure.
Oh, I did a 5.9 with your car, so go ahead.
Okay.
6.9 actually. 6.9? 6.1. 6.1. So
We can clearly not trust anything that this man says.
That's the time. No, it's 6.1. 6.1. So that's the time.
6-1. All right.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.